Hey everyone, and welcome to our math warm-up number 128. So we're getting started with our math warm-up number 128. Make sure you put your name where it says your first and last name. Now, I can't tell you why, but this little number 2 is when I'm recording something, it gives me a countdown, and the number 2 got stuck. So apologize for that, but the computer is what it is. So we have mixed facts, subtraction and addition, multiplication again. Then we go to fractions, place value, and our challenge problem. Number 1 is 12 minus 8. And we have 6 plus 6. 13 minus 5. 7 plus 7. So you want to be careful with these because it does have addition and subtraction. So it's really important for you to pay attention so that you can make sure that you don't mess up your notes. Sometimes when we're getting into the habit of a way that we're doing our work, we can easily get into the trap of being consistent with addition or subtraction and forgetting that they're asking us to switch it. So always looking at the operation is so important. So we go to 16 minus 9. 8 plus 8. 17 minus 8. So I can't get this thing to move down any further, so I'm going with this. 16 and 9. All right, moving down. Let's see if I can get this thing to work. Why it's giving me such a hard time. 9 plus 9. And that brings us to, we have 6 times 30. Now, what I've noticed is that I've had a few people actually ask about this, which I'm glad that people are asking about it, because if you're not asking questions, then that means that you get everything that I'm teaching in these videos perfectly. Now, I would hope that you guys would ask me questions, especially if you're seeing something that you struggle with. Now, 6 times 30. The way that this would normally be done is like this. And the way that you multiply stacking like this, you would have 0 times 6. So you would do your ones place first. So you have 0 times 6, which is 0. Then you do 6 times 3, which is 18. So you can see that your final answer is 180. So what we're saying is that when you have a power of 10, such as 30, this is a power of 10. So it's one of the multiples of 10, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So you can say then, I know that this 0 is going to automatically come down to my answer. So if I'm multiplying by 6, I just do 6 times 3, which is 18, and then I add that 0 to the end of it. So if it's a power of 10 and it's 300, I still see 6 times 3 is 18, but now I'm bringing down 2 zeros. So every time you have a power of 10, all you do is your base number, which is 6 times 3, which is 18, and then add the 0. So try this one, 8 times 4. 8 times 4 is 32. Then you just bring over your 0. Here you have 5 times 8. Yeah, that's 40, and then you carry over the 0, 400. So as you can see, when we're doing powers of 10, it's actually really easy because you can use your facts, the facts that we've memorized throughout this school year, and that'll help you when you do your multiplication of bigger numbers. So we always start with something easy, like 7 times 5, but now we're getting into 7 times 50. And next year you'll get 7 times 500. So, you want to really think about, am I mastering the idea that 7 times 5 is 35? Then I just carry over that 0 into that final place, which is the ones place. Now we multiply 5 times 5 times 4. The trick here is to do a power of 10 first, because 5 times 5 is 25. Most of us can't count by 25s. Now, some of us might be able to. The other trick would be to 5 times 4 is 20. Now you have a power of 10. 5 times 2 is 10, and then you carry the 0. So you can look at these, and knowing the commutative property of multiplication, you can choose which ones to multiply first. And that's where this comes into play. What property is it showing? It's the commutative. Sorry, that's not true. I'm saying that the commutative property is why this works, but this being a grouping, when they're grouping like this and they put the parentheses, this is the associative property of multiplication. So I just put associative prop. You can do that as well, or you can type it all out, associative property of multiplication. So that brings us down now to the next part. And it says, whoa, fraction. What is the fraction represented by the red dot on the number line? So we see this red dot. Now we can count it and say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is fine, but it's not 5 because 1 is here. So if you were like not in 3rd grade and didn't learn fractions, you'd be like, what is this? I'm confused. But in this case, you can say, oh, well, I know that this is between 0 and 1, which means it's smaller than 1. It's less than a whole. It's a fraction, because a fraction is less than a whole. So now you say, okay, well, what's my denominator then? How many parts are there? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 eighths. So this is 8 eighths right here. So since this is 8 eighths, then this is 5 eighths. And that's our fraction, 5/8. Next, we have round 95 to the nearest 10. 95, 9, ask the 5. Are you less than 5? No. So the 9 has to go to 10. And then the 5 turns into a 0. What about 95 to the nearest 100? Now, 0, 9, 5, because there's 0 hundreds. So the 0 asks the 9, are you less than 5? It says no, so the 0 has to change to a 1, and you get 100. All right, moving on down. Make sure you pause the video if you need some notes. I've been going through a lot of things today. All right, we're going to round 21 to the nearest 10. The 2 asks the 1, are you less than 5? He says, yes, so the 2 stays the same. The 1 turns to a 0. 21 to the nearest 100. Well, 21 to the nearest 100, 0, again, is asking the 2. It says yes, so the 0 stays the same. You get 0 hundredths, 0. 671 to the nearest 10. Well, now the 10 is asking the 1s. The 7 is saying, are you? It is yes, stays the same, 670. What about to the nearest 100? So now we have the 6 asking the 7. Are you less than 5? No, 700. And that brings us to, come on, don't do this. Okay, there we go. 671 to the nearest 100. Whoa. This is Miss Hoger. Miss Hoger set up her desks in 4 rows of 8 desks. 4 rows of 8 desks in each row. Write an equation to represent this problem. So as you can see, I have each, which is a multiplication, so 4 times 8. Now solve that. 4 times 8 equals what? How many desks? So make sure you solve this equation. Now, it says, okay, we multiplied 4 times 8. How does that look when we use repeated addition? So 4 times 8 is the same as saying 4 8 times. And this picture doesn't represent 4 times 8 anyway. That's so weird. This is 4 times 6. But they have 4 times 8, so we're using that. We're not using the picture. So this is 4 8 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the answer is the same, 32 desks. And that's it. So now that you're finished with your morning work, make sure you close this up, mark it as done, and you're done with your morning work. Thanks so much for working with me today, and I will talk to you later.